he's not introverted, but he was definitely more on the quiet side. Like he wasn't a super outspoken figure compared to some of the other civil rights leaders. Like he was there, but he talked, but he was not good. Honestly, I think because he was small, quite honestly. So I'm giving in a little bit to what I'm about
Okay,
to
no,
pick.
okay.
We talk
I'm
about
not gonna say
I'm short
it.
king.
I went there too.
Amazing. I love it.
Oh shit! I think I hope we don't have the
I
same.
know if we all
I
pick the
hope-
same people, it's gonna be
I hope
hilarious.
y'all. I know. I've got somebody different because
All right.
mine's out of the box.
All right, so
Y'all-
I will go. Do you want me to say my
Go,
athlete
Carter.
comp?
Yeah.
All right, so my athlete comp was Isaiah Thomas.
Man, I'm done with this game. All right, I'm done. All right, look. Wait. Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah, that's perfect. That's
right
perfect.
there.
That's perfect.
John Lewis.
Welcome into the Armchair Politics Podcast. My name is David Coe. With me, as always, is Dr. Christopher Carter and Alex Smith. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Excited for today.
We are here for another just wonderfully useless exercise. We are going to compare politicians to athletes. We've got, and the theme for today's show is racists and radicals, which just felt like the most appropriate place to start with American politicians. Alex, you're our resident historian. You feeling confident?
We'll see. I actually stayed up late, really late, to try to come up with this and doing research. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, but I feel somewhat confident in my choices.
So, like everything, we're competitive here. And so we're going to throw out a politician, and then we are each going to give our own athlete comp to that politician. And then at the end of the round, we are going to vote on who has the best comp. Person who gets the most best comps at the end of the show wins the day. How you feeling? Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's start with the original, the founding father of America, Mr. First President of the United States, George Washington.
Yeah, the OG. So G-Dub grew up in just, you know what I'm saying? He grew up in a lot of wealth, married into wealth, was a soldier. He failed during the French Indian War, getting captured, and then kind of he languished for a little bit until um, the kind of germs of independence started happening in the colonial states, and
Hooked up with Fairfax.
Yeah, man. The whole Virginia was a beast, man. They had Thomas Jefferson, they had Mr. Lee.
They had a deep bench. They had a deep bench, right?
Deep bench.
You would say like if we're comparing it to college football recruiting, it was like the Louisiana of college football recruiting.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily the biggest, but best by capita.
Not that y'all are biased.
Capita. Like, for real, think about it. Like, the 12th man on the bench is an all-star in another colony. You feel me?
Yeah.
So anyway, he ended up being nominated by John Adams to be the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, and he was very soft-spoken. I know a soft-spoken slave owner, so that feels like you know what I'm saying? Those don't go together. But hey, he won a couple of battles, lost a couple of battles, ended up winning the war, becoming the first president, still owning slaves, while proclaiming this freedom from tyranny from Great Britain. Man is full of many contradictions, but he was tall.
It's beautiful. We love a tall man in America.
We love a tall. That's why. Why do you think they were following him? Because he was tall, man. Exactly.
He's great because, like, George Washington, one of the main conflicts in his life was, as he grew to be, in principle against slavery while still holding slaves. It's kind of wonderful because America's still doing the same thing. Like, we still haven't been able to grapple with it. Like, we're like, oh man, slavery's bad. But I love that cheap labor. I can't give up that cheap labor.
Capitalism. You gotta understand.
Capitalism.
Yeah, like it was all capitalism. Because like these people may not have been cash rich, but all of their entire wealth was tied up in their physical human property, enslaved people. So they would borrow. It's like a mortgage. You would borrow against your house for a mortgage to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And
And
this
so he's
dude's
like, "Wow, owning all of these people are wrong, but I'm not gonna give up my lifestyle to not own slaves." It's the
yeah,
perfect American story.
yeah, man. He was yeah, these people was anyway, we don't need to get too deep into that because like that's another episode. But
That the last thing I want to say, I want to add this because before we give our comps is there is a amazing book about so his chef was his name Hercules. And so the first black chef who basically ran the entire White House culinary enterprise was as an African. And he ended up running away. He was able to escape after Washington left for the presidency, and he had already had his wife and daughter had escaped. He had helped him escape, and he met up with them. And Washington looked for this man for the rest of his life because not only was he the head executive chef, but he basically was doing a lot more of the what we would now call like chief of staff duties, even though he was a chef. And
Interesting.
and so they're making a book about it. This is so for those of you know, because why would you know that in addition to political commentary, religious commentary, I write a lot about food. They're making it so this has been a book being written about this. They're gonna make this into it's gotten what do you call that, Alex? When people buy stuff to make film rights or whatever, rights to the
Option.
Oh
book.
yeah, yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. That kind of
Yeah,
that kind
film
of thing.
rights.
The
They
thing
optioned it.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's a fascinating story. That a lot of people just don't know about that how like again, you have this idea of a person, you don't realize how much of what is behind them, supporting them is, black people or women, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people just have
Yeah.
no idea. So
The symbol of American freedom, keeping people in bondage, keeping
It
people
is.
in bondage.
There it
Um,
is.
so just
All right.
just just to preface a couple of the comps. So this is one day we'll do I guess coaches because it's fascinating because one of his top generals was Benedict Arnold. And you know what I'm saying? He sure can't pick them. Now, there were some other things going on about people not getting paid, bonuses and stuff like that. So, but it's a whole thing, man. But he was bopping around until he could find somebody who could hold it down for him. So, anyway, yeah. All right,
Who you got,
let's roll
Alex?
with the comps. All right, so this was really challenging because I was like, all right, he's the first president. And I was like thinking, I'm like, all right, who are trailblazers? And I'm like, trailblazers are black, so that would be, I cannot do that to my black people. So I have him as Larry Bird. And the reason I got Larry Bird, I like Larry Joe Bird. So Larry Bird's quiet, soft spoken, but he talks shit too. And
a
that was
whole
kind of
bunch.
George Washington. People didn't realize George Washington talked some shit,
Yes, yes.
but Larry was lethal from outside. That was and he had this kind of athleticism that everybody wasn't really paying attention to, but they was just like they couldn't find a way to stop him. And so, he had all-star career. Yeah, he was 3-time NBA champion, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the one thing was just like he is lethal from deep. And that is kind of how I see George Washington when he was, bombing General Howe from deep. I don't even know
Literal
if he was
bombing.
there.
Literal
He was,
bombing. Literal
he was
bombing.
bombing
Cannon
from deep,
fodder.
man. When
It's
they
so
were,
funny.
yeah. So anyway, so I got him as Larry. The soft spokenness and the quiet nature, but like lethal underneath. That was kind of what I. That's what I got.
George Larry Legend Bird. I love
Yeah,
Now,
it.
see,
man.
this is what's gonna be interesting. So mine is I had a little bit of a challenge. The person I came up, and this is I had to go old school, and so y'all may not remember George Mikan. So you're talking about
Oh yeah,
old school, like and so this is
Milwaukee
why.
Lakers.
Because you again professional player, like very, very like critical to the beginnings of the NBA. Like, because the NBA people like now is popular, but I mean it's the popularity of the NBA is very, very recent, right? It's very, very recent. And if you think about the history of America, America really only became, again, a superpower very, very recently. You have someone like George Mikan who was able to be the pillar of an organization to teach, I mean, basic fundamental stuff, like just big man, post up. That's when basketball, like people would say, like before the 3-point shot, like this is when basketball is basketball. You had to earn everything you got, right? You had to stay up in the paint. You had to post up, knock some people over, and get it the buckets in. And that's what you had to do, man. You know, this is back in the day. These people out here with like muskets, you know what I'm saying? Like
Bro, they didn't have socks.
exactly,
This
you
dude
know what I'm
was begging
saying?
for them
They
to
got
have socks.
they got dentures that are made out of wood. I'm like, this is hard living. This is hard living. And so I'm like, so to me, I'm like, we
It's
gotta
not
go a little
true.
bit old school. I know.
My man out here spreading myths.
He's better myths. No. He had wooden teeth. He had wooden teeth. I think actually he took teeth. Well, I feel like, did he take teeth? Yeah, he took teeth from his
Yes.
slaves.
Yes. Oh, yes.
He took teeth from his slaves. So, but whatever. You know, hey man, you know.
So I like that comp.
What you got, David?
So for me, because you know, like one of the greatest to do it, like just like you said, just not knocking people down, and was so great at what he does that most people, not us, but most people forget and just kind of overlook that dark history, that dark history of slavery. And while this person was obviously not a slave trader, I'm going with Adrian Peterson. Because we forget that man consistently whips his kids. And we're just like,
oh, man. Stop it.
Wow.
I had to.
Wow.
But he's so
Wow.
good, we don't talk about it.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, you're all right. We so good. We forget about this child abuse.
Right.
Dang. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
I lost.
quick-
I'm like, I already know.
Are we
I'm
giving
like,
this?
good God.
Am I taking this round? That's one for me, I guess.
I think you took this round.
Yeah,
Oh my
man.
God,
Because I was getting ready to be like, oh yeah, Carter's got this. He's got this locked.
No,
and then
no,
Carter,
no.
you have my vote. Because you
I'm
can't
like-
vote for yourself. So Carter, you have my vote. But yeah, I think I got
but
that.
I'm
one.
like,
Weird.
dang, nah, man, that was woo.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
That was great. All right, next, man, I gotta step my game up. I'm like,
We bring it-
I'm like, that was
changing it down
deep.
the list now.
We're bringing the heat. Let's go for one of my favorite radicals, current Vermont senator. I maybe should have done a full list for everyone to go in. Listen, if y'all want to know who we're going to talk about later, right now we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders. We're also going to talk about John Lewis, Joseph McCarthy, Ronald Reagan, Ted Cruz, Bull Connor, and Shirley Chisholm. That's the full list of everyone today. I should have done that off top. I'm not very good at this yet, but right now we're going to do Senior senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, former mayor of Burlington. He's on this list because he is the most radical elected, right now. Do y'all agree with that?
Definitely has is the most memeable. Like his memes, like with the mittens, you know what I'm saying? Like he got like just the stuff that really catches on.
The old man thing. He's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
Yes.
And the thing is, like, he has that, I don't know, that kind of old crotchety man that actually, like that people still kind of like. You know what I'm saying? Like he tells you to get off the yard, and you just kind of like, you'd be like, all right, man, I guess so.
I think it's that kind of old, like New England, New York accent too.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
No, I think so too.
Right. And it's like, I don't know if he has a sense of humor at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but if he does, it's like really, really dry, and you don't know if
Yeah.
he's joking or not. And so
Exactly.
you don't know whether to laugh. So you're just sitting there in silence watching him. But yeah,
Man is inflexible and
Yes.
like, in the best ways and the worst ways. Like he stands tall on his beliefs, but also like when you try and teach that man something new, it's like talking to a brick wall sometimes.
Now, see, David, this is why I have a question for you. Like, this is in my experiences of, because obviously people know Bernie Sanders is Jewish. Like, if you have been in conversations with Jewish men around like Torah, like if you're sitting in Shabbat and you have a like, I'm like, that's just how they talk. Like, this is like not, their arguing is just like talking. Like that
Yes.
is like the arguing is the talking. There's no distinction between. And so I'm like, oh,
And
they're like he argues all the time. I'm like, that's just kind of what that's talking. That's not even arguing.
and that's the household I grew up in, so, like, I
Yeah,
understand that kind of that level of communication. I'll go ahead
yeah,
and give my comp because I love this one. So because, like, you can say whatever you wanna say, but, like, Bernie's got that dog in him.
yes,
Like, there is no doubt, like, Bernie is gonna run through you. He doesn't give a fuck. Also, like, he doesn't care about decorum. Like, Bernie,
exactly.
like, if you expect Bernie to show up to your fancy event wearing a black tie and to, like, not say the inappropriate thing, you are dead fucking wrong. And that's why the athlete comp for Bernie Sanders is Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch.
Oh man, is that what you had?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
we have
really?
the same one. We have
Oh,
the same
damn!
one. That's
Oh,
crazy.
I was wondering if
That
that's
is
gonna
I was
happen.
like, as soon as you said, I was like, oh, we picked the same person. We picked the
Oh, that's
same.
you heard
That
you
is
saw it leading in.
yeah. I
That's
was like,
obvious.
that's
Hey, man.
crazy.
Well, that's some big pressure on Alex now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, let me just say that the other
Yeah,
reason.
give me what else?
The,
What other reason you picked Marsan?
the other reason that I said is because to me, like the stubbornness of Marshawn when he was playing is also like after retiring, like people like him. Like he's still stubborn. He's
More
still
and more
saying
popular.
yeah, and it's just like he just leans more into who he actually is. Actually, has made him more popular. Not try to be anybody else. And I think that's what I love about Bernie. He's not trying to be anybody else. He's like, this is who I
Me.
am. This is what I do. And so it was no, I was it to me that was like, yeah, Marshawn, Bernie, yeah, they seem like they brothers from another mother. So that's what I came up with. So Alex, I'm wondering who you got, man. Who you got?
Oh man, I know.
Also,
I think I'm
because
probably gonna
like
lose.
Bernie, the Beastquake works because like in Beastquake in 2016 works because like he shook the world, but still didn't come close to winning.
Damn.
Hey, that Seattle
Should have
team was
won.
7-9 when they beat our Saints. So at
Oh
home,
man,
they shouldn't have had a
oof.
home game, but that's neither here nor there. All
No, I
right,
stand
so
on that. You win your division, you get a home game.
eh, even if you're 7-9,
Yep,
so
it's gonna help
I
us next year, maybe.
Maybe.
NFC South,
Maybe.
worst division
Who
in
dat?
football. Um, so I, all right. So I had told David my earlier comp. I changed it because I knew I was going to change it. So initially I was going
Good,
to have,
because you ain't
okay,
gonna win with
this,
that weak shit.
I know, I was going to say Tim Duncan fundamentals. No.
Weak shit.
So I'm going to go with, so I went with Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary, linebacker for the Chicago Bears. See, this is the thing about Bernie.
Yeah,
Bernie's a junkyard dog. You know what I'm saying? Bernie is
yeah.
a junkie, he is a linebacker. He is cleaning that shit up. He is finding the gaps, he's shooting the gaps. So also think about Mike Singletary, single track mind. Remember he was talking about Vernon Davis? Can't win with him. Won't do it.
Can't, can't,
Can't
can't
win
do
with
it.
him. Won't do it. He's stubborn. Now that stubborn might have got him fired. But him and Bernie have that kind of stubborn streak. I remember Singletary was talking about he hated running backs. He hated running backs, even though he respected uh who was the guy with the glasses. I mean,
Eric
it's
Dickerson?
Eric Dickerson. There we go. Eric Dickerson. He was like,
You
man, when
say
I met
San
him in
Francisco
the
running back, and I just go Frank Gore.
Frank
We said who's the guy with the glasses and Eric Dickerson. So as a
Eric
kid that had
Dickerson is
glasses, I
yeah.
remember I had to wear the goggles when I played football.
Oh man, I need
It
a
look-
picture of Baby
oh
Carter
no,
with
you
the
don't.
athletic
No,
glasses
no,
on.
no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one needs that picture. No one
Oh
needs that
man.
picture, man.
But yeah, no, Mike Singletary,
Amazing.
man. Mike Singletary, single track mind, see ball, hit ball, but just a junkyard dog. And I think
Yeah.
that's Bernie. Just a junkyard dog,
Yeah.
man. Nothing
I
pretty
think I
about
think
it.
I think that's the main characteristic that he has that is deeply that it goes right across the sports. It goes right across the sports. So no, I agree. I think it's a tie between me and David, but
Yeah.
I think yours is
Yeah, no,
good. Yours is good. Yours
I'll
is
go
good.
with I'm falling down here on these comps right now. You guys, the Marshawn Lynch is genius, so well
Yeah.
done.
Thank you.
Well, let me go. I want to start with for me one of the people that I think more recently I won't say gain respect for, but learn more about is John Lewis. And so one of the courses that I teach is these immersion trips where I take students to the American South. And so we went to Montgomery and go to the Equal Justice Initiative Museum, and that museum, if you haven't got a chance to go to any of the three kind of museum parks that talk about the history and legacy of American slavery, I can't recommend it more because you really learn the work that some people have had to do. And that's where I really got exposed to pictures. I think I knew John Lewis was young, but when you see those pictures with him I mean, he was like a baby. He
Yeah.
was a baby. Like in working with these folks in leadership positions. And it just, I think seeing it actually maybe have even more respect for the ways in which he was able to navigate that space, to take authority in those difficult positions, and really stand on his own particular kind of principles. And then obviously we end that trip in Atlanta, where he was a representative, and get a chance to learn more about the impact he's had in that community, the impact he continued to have all the way through the end of his life. Talk about making good trouble. For me, I think he is someone who is probably underappreciated for how great he was, because he was he's not introverted, but he was definitely more on the quiet side. Like he wasn't a super outspoken figure compared to some of the other civil rights leaders. Like he was there, but he talked, but he was not good. Honestly, I think because he was small, quite honestly. So I'm giving in a little bit to what I'm
Okay.
about
No,
to
no,
pick.
no. Okay.
We talk
I'm
about
not gonna
our
say it
short
yet.
king.
I went there too. I went there too.
Amazing. I love it.
Oh shit! I think we go. I hope we don't have the
I
same.
know if we all
I
pick the
hope-
same people, it's gonna be
I hope y'all
hilarious.
have, I know I've got somebody different because this
All right.
mine's out of the box.
All right, so I
Y'all-
will go. Do you want me to say my
Go,
athlete
Carter.
comp?
Yeah.
All right, so my athlete comp was Isaiah Thomas.
With this game. All right, I'm done. I'm done. All right, look. Wait. Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah, that's perfect. That's
right
perfect.
there.
That's perfect.
John Lewis.
That's perfect.
Man, I knew you
Love
was gonna
this.
do
This
it
is
too.
so great.
Well, I think because
Stop up and go
because-
first next time.
Yeah, I know. You can go next. I mean, hey, if we tie, we tie. It's just what it is. But because to me, again, you have someone who is like not only like Isaiah Thomas did this in high school. He did it in college with Indiana. He did it again in Detroit. To do what Isaiah Thomas did at his height, right? At
Right.
his height in the NBA, when this is the very, very beginnings of the 3-point era, where they're still actually posting up in the paint, people aren't shooting a lot of threes. It's insane. That does not happen now. That's why Steph
And
Curry.
to our younger audience, we're talking about the old
Yeah,
Isaiah
Detroit
Thomas,
Pistons.
Detroit
Yeah, yeah.
Pistons. But shout out to the young Isaiah Thomas for speaking out
Undersized as well.
and it being an undersized short king, but speaking out for not being afraid to share his voice.
Yeah, there are definitely shots for that. Definitely shots for that. But yeah, I think from a leadership position, and from a size and just the ability to actually maximize what God has given you, right? That's who I think of John Lewis. So Alex, what came for you? Why you pick Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, man. He's undersized, man. Undersized. John Lewis, you gotta understand, even those pictures of him as a little baby, when they were going across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and when they were getting beaten and terrorized and, almost murdered by these law enforcement folks who wouldn't let them cross the bridge. I mean, he's doing it at that size. So think about Isaiah Thomas, basically 5'10", in amongst trees. And this is back when the NBA was incredibly physical, right? So remember his teammate,
Violent.
Bill Laimbeer. So you got cats like that out there. But the thing
He
about
needed a
Isaiah
cat like that.
He did.
yeah. Well, I mean, what was great was that he knew that because he was small, he had to create a lot more physicality. John Lewis, knowing his stature, his outsized voice was his physicality. Because he would be pushing Dr. King on things
Yep,
about things
yeah.
that he believed that SNCC and all these other groups should be doing. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about John Lewis is that the appreciation for him came, I think, mostly at the end of his life where people were really discovering who he was and
Yep.
what he was. And now he is this lionized figure in American politics and American life. One quick little nugget about him, because I'm my family historian. So he thought after the Voting Rights Act in 1965, that the first presidential election that he and his family voted in ever was in 1968. That is not true. He learned through finding his roots that his formerly enslaved ancestors, the man, as soon as he was free, he registered and voted, I believe, in the state of Alabama. And
Wow.
so, yes, and so he was
This has
talking
been
about
during the
how
Reconstruction era. Yeah, during
during
the
the he had
Reconstruction.
no idea. He
Wow.
had no
Wow.
idea that his ancestor, his great great grandfather, I believe, registered and voted, and how that's a part of his family's DNA. So anyway, that's like,
That's amazing.
Isaiah Thomas isn't as cool as John Lewis, but they have that scrappiness that little guys have.
All right, let me see if I can steal this point real quick.
All right.
So, for all of the reasons y'all are talking about, like, like Carter was saying, like, he wasn't like the civil rights movement leader, but like, was an invaluable captain and someone that like played the game so hard for his entire career, was around forever, like always gave 110%, and was willing to physically put his body on the line for the game. And that's why John Lewis is Manu Ginobili.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, I think
Clever, he's
definitely someone.
crafty.
Yeah, I mean, and I think
You know
someone
what
who
did
like. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
you know
I
what
like
did
this
it
one.
for me is like, I can't remember when it was, but like, remember when Ginobili had that like big ass welt on his head during a run, like, and I was
It
like,
just
oh
stayed there for months.
yeah, and it just stayed there. I just like I was just like, all right, like that man would have I'm not gonna say Ginobili would have died out there on that court, but like was not scared at all,
Dude, you remember that
like,
time he killed that bat before a
Yeah.
game? Y'all
oh
remember
yes,
that?
oh my god,
I'm
I
like,
forgot
dude,
about
like
that.
he had to get a
Yes!
rabies shot because he had to get a rabies shot, man. He was just like that bat was just like, wow. I was like, this
Man,
fool.
built
This
different in
See, yeah,
Argentina,
this is the
man.
thing when you
like,
from Argentina, like you come from poverty in the like South America or you from Eastern Europe. I was like, these fools, man, you can't don't mess with them because they
not
crazy.
the
Nah,
biggest,
man.
not the strongest, but like nobody wants to fuck with Manu
No,
Ginobili. Nobody wants to fuck
no,
with John Lewis.
no, they
No.
crazy. No, that's
Uh,
funny. That's funny.
so I
I
mean,
think
this
this
one's
was
on
good.
y'all. This one's on y'all to decide who wins this one, because y'all are tied. Y'all
Well,
got the same
obviously
one.
we're gonna. I'm like, I think we right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna
Then-
vote for Isaiah
then
Thomas
that-
because
then
like
that's how it is. That's how it
your
goes. That's
Ginobili it was a fun wild card, but
no,
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hey, maybe once we have an audience, we'll get them to vote.
that is crazy that we've had that. That's so funny. All right,
I fucking love that so much.
Alex,
we
how about you
wanna-
go ahead and pick the next one, right?
All right.
You want to stay in the
so-
civil rights?
No. Yes. So I'm going to
Other side.
sniffer. I know the other side. You know exactly who I'm going to. I'm going to pronounce his name. I think it's pronounced Theophilus. Theophilus. Yeah, Theophilus.
Theophilus. I think it's Theophilus.
I think it's Theophilus Eugene Bull Connor. So Bull Connor, Alabama's pride and joy.
He was the commissioner of public safety for
Safety.
Birmingham, Alabama, like from the 50s till almost the
50s.
70s, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Bull Connor was notorious for sicking attack dogs and fire hoses on civil rights activists and just in general black people. And he was a very strict segregationalist and
Proud.
and I'm talking about he was enforcing the racial codes in Birmingham. He was what you would call like to the letter of his racist bones law. He was just like, we ain't gonna mix. You gonna be over there and you gonna do it. So he was a very notorious guy in during the civil rights era. So he was like one of the greatest Bond villains during that time. And so so he's a pretty terrible human being. But I will say if we're gonna comp him now, so there's two ways you can look at this, right? So this is a first ballot Hall of Fame racist. right? In terms
Absolutely.
of just like he first ballot. You know what I'm saying? He may not be
It
number
is, and well,
one.
Matthew Stafford is like your quarterback's favorite quarterback.
Sure.
You know,
Well, he's your racist favorite racist, man.
not like a
Through
casual
any
racist.
era.
A casual racist isn't gonna be like Bull Connor's the dude, but like the racists know
Racist.
that like
The
Yeah.
he's
people
the
who've done
man.
the work and the research know. So I'm
Exactly.
actually going to go in a
Exactly.
completely different direction because I think because he's a first ballot racist Hall of Famer,
I love this so much.
because he would be, if you had an all-American list of racists, like he would make the team. And I don't know if he would be the quarterback. He'd probably be offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? So I actually have him as the Michael Jordan of racists.
Mm.
I have Jordan. Jordan, because think about Bull Connor. Bull Connor really wasn't in league with a ton of he had his own little group. That was it. Like he wasn't like, hey, we're gonna team up and do racist stuff. He's like, yeah, I kind of got my own racist agenda. It's like Michael's favorite play is give me the ball, get the hell out the way, him and Kobe. So it's like, he played within the system, but he was the star. So I honestly, because I was really thinking about like, should I give him some? No, I wanted to give him Michael Jordan because he was special. He was special back then. His ass, he was a special kind of terrible. So that may
Yeah.
not
That's
win,
true.
but he is definitely the Michael Jordan of racists during the civil rights movement.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, I
Uh,
can't either. I can't either. David, who you got, man?
so this is gonna reveal my age, I think, a little bit, as an elder millennial, but because he was just like was just so like open vitriol and the physical violence toward it. Man, just reminds me of John Rocker, the
Mm.
pitcher.
I almost picked John Rocker.
Braves, yeah, Braves
Almost picked John Rocker.
closer.
And maybe it was because like when I
Interesting.
was growing up, the Braves were always on TBS, and so like everyone watched the Braves, and that was when they were good and doing that. And like I just remember like his 7 train rant, and then just throughout my childhood, I was just like even as a little kid, I was like, oh wow, like this guy's just fucking racist. And so yeah, and I feel the same way about Bull Connor.
All right. So I definitely went for something a little bit different. I was thinking more about like to me when I'm teaching about this stuff. People think about Bull Connor, but the first thing that comes to their mind is his famous speech, where actually I had to look up the quote where he's talking about. He says, "I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny." Tyranny. And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. And I was like that dude is so like
Was
staunchly
that George Wallace?
segregationist.
That was George Wallace.
Oh shoot, that is George Wallace. Crap, that's not
Yeah,
Bull.
because he was
Oh
on
yeah,
our list. He was on
yeah,
our
yeah.
list.
No,
But don't worry, Bull Connor
no,
was happy
We'll
about
get
that.
we'll get to George Wallace too. He had
no.
Bull Connor had a similar speech, but it wasn't segregation
Yes.
forever. He had like a line in the sand speech as well. I remember what you're talking about, but it wasn't that one.
Yeah, it's what. Oh shoot, yep, I got the wrong quote because I'm sitting there looking at it is the one where he basically is talking about how that one I meant to. He was talking about bringing the dogs. I ain't got to edit it out anyway. My
I
comp
ain't
is not
editing
good then
I
because
ain't
I got it
editing
mixed up.
shit.
I got it mixed. Well, the hard part is because like I was thinking about he has this famous speech about because he always wanted to get the dogs. He always wanted to get the dogs, and people talk about again why black folks have different feelings about dogs in the house. A lot of this stuff has tied with the civil rights movement. And now I know that sounds crazy, but I'm like, that is legit. Like you
That
see
makes
pictures
sense.
of them German shepherds jumping up on folks. I'm like, that stuff is trauma. That's trauma. And so he intentionally would always talk about getting the dogs to scare black folks. My comp actually is not good because I was thinking that I'm already scratching myself out because I was thinking about that particular speech. I was like, oh, is he going to say that speech? And I'm like, no, you're right. That was George Wallace. So I was going Riley Cooper because to me, Riley Cooper
dude.
had the like just loud and proud, like I'm going to beat all these folks in here.
Yeah.
That's not
And I
bad,
was like,
actually.
It's not a bad comp.
That's
I
still
was like,
in
this
line.
is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like, why would you do that? So anyway, that was my comp. But again, that was on bad research on my part, sitting there like reading the wrong thing. So that's all right.
So
That's all right.
as a bit of context, again, I'm filling people in on the rules as we go along because I'm really great at this. We want this gonna be a living document, so to speak, in the podcast. So, George Washington, Adrian Peterson is the athletic version of George Washington, and we're going to continue to refer to him in that way.
AP. George
Uh-huh.
Washington all day. All day,
George, all day.
Just running hard.
And so for that reason, I have to vote for Carter on this one because I can't have Bull Cotter be
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
I
can't do it.
I told you I was just.
I see it, and I am going to use a first ballot racist Hall of Famer for the rest of my life. That is a great line.
Yeah,
but I gotta vote for Carter.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
yeah,
he definitely is the first
Carter
ballot
that
racist
too,
Hall of
actually.
Famer.
Yeah.
So
I give
all
Carter.
right.
Do you like Riley Cooper over John Rocker?
Yeah. I mean, you were
disrespectful, man.
I know.
I hate you.
It was close though. It was close for me.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got the. All right. Oh, Carter in the lead.
Okay.
Carter takes the lead.
Carter takes the lead.
All right.
All right. Do you want to stay? You want to stay in the civil rights era and do Shirley Chisholm? You all want to go somewhere else?
Yeah, we can
Let's
do
do
Shirley Chisholm.
First black woman, congresswoman from New York. She was the first.
Brooklyn is in the house. Bed-Stuy.
Was the first woman to run for the Democratic nominee. Like, you talk about trailblazers. I really wish I had found a Portland trailblazer that I could have comped her to, but I didn't. That would have been amazing. What do y'all talk to me about Shirley Chisholm?
What I love about, Shirley Chisholm, she to me is the embodiment of a black woman who is just like, you know what? Like, I have no time for your bullshit. Like, I'm not like I do not suffer fools. So don't come here and talk no mess. And don't play no games because I ain't got time for it. And like to me, and like I think to an extent, like, and this is where it's hard not to be stereotypical, but she does to an extent embodies that idea that people have about black women being able to carry so much and lead so many people, because that's truly what she does. She points out, like, I would argue, and man, it'd be interesting actually to talk to the professor who coined this term. Chisholm is talking about what we would now understand to be intersectionality, like in terms of she's talking about
Crenshaw.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great to ask Kimberly, like, if she would agree with this, because she's talking about the intersecting issues of race, gender, and class, but also the dynamics of gender, because she's in the early feminist movement and talking about dynamics between like being a woman but not fitting in with feminists because they're talking about race, but also the challenges she has with black men because they're not talking about gender. Like, she is such a pioneer that people just do not know. Like, and I think that's and it's, I don't know, people don't know political history, but her story is phenomenal. And so for me, I know more about her from the political religious perspective because so many women religious scholars use her as one of their matriarchs in their arguments around intersectionality. And so that's where I became more familiar with Chisholm and her activism. Do y'all remember her slogan? Because she had like a awesome slogan that comes in. I'm trying to look it up.
It was like unbought and unbothered. Something like that. Like that.
That's like, look at that. Look, all of them bought now. Like, every last one of them, they bought and bothered. You know what I'm saying? They bought.
They bothered because they're bought.
Unbought.
Exactly.
Unbossed. Yeah. Unbought,
is that what it was? Unbossed?
Yeah, unbought and
nice.
unbossed. Yeah.
Yes, unbossed. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
All right,
so but for all of those reasons, because she was a trailblazer, because like she was the first, because she was the first black woman to do so many things, and because she was underappreciated and we don't give her the credit she deserves for what she did, she is Shirley Chisholm. The athletic comp to Shirley Chisholm is Jason White Chocolate Williams. White guy doing things that we just haven't seen before. Never got close to winning the big thing, but like was always fucking business. And like, again, like regular people like Jason Williams, who's that? But like ball knowers know White Chocolate. And I like to
Interesting.
me, like and like obviously Shirley Chisholm didn't have like Jason Williams's showboat style of politics, but because she was a black woman who was unbossed and unbought and just said what the fuck she wanted, she presented like she was throwing behind the back passes and dribbling between her legs because of the context of the time that she lived in.
Mm, I love it. I
Y'all
love
give me
it.
the
Interesting.
point. It's all good. I mean, make your comps, but give me the point afterward.
We'll
All
see.
right, all right.
We'll see.
Alex,
You're
you
getting
want
a
to
little
go?
ahead of yourself there, friend. So I'm gonna go. See, I really like my comp because at first I was gonna do one athlete, but then I'm like, nah, this is the athlete, and this is a deep cut. This is for everybody to go and to look this person up. You should know this person, but I understand if you don't. Shirley Chisholm is Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl
Mm,
Swoops
that's
is
a good one.
a WNBA legend. She was the first person signed, first woman signed to the WNBA. She was an absolute beast in college. She was a trailblazer for the WNBA. The modern WNBA that you see right now was built on the backs of Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, a lot of that
Yep.
Houston Comets team. Like people need to recognize she she was, you want to talk about unbought and unbossed. This woman is still outspoken about the WNBA's kind of double standard and how they treat white
Yep,
and black athletes.
yep.
So she'll be vilified for it, but she doesn't care. And I just love that she stands on business with that. And I just think, again, like as a trailblazer and a person who I don't think gets enough credit for the work that they've done to create the league and to create the spaces, because regardless of what you feel about Kamala Harris or whomever, but then, not just Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, not just Jasmine Crockett, you have Albrook, Senator Albrook from Maryland. All these women stand on the shoulders of Shirley Chisholm, all of them. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like Angel Reese, Asia Wilson stands on the shoulders of Cheryl Swoops, and obviously so many others, but Cheryl Swoops in particular. So that's where I'm at.
Can I ask you a quick question about this, about Cheryl Swoops' appreciation? Do you think that Cheryl Swoops is underappreciated within the WNBA community or just at large? Because I would say that like within like people who know the W, Cheryl Swoops is held up high. But
I'm talking about maybe the general public, but again, it's like I don't know. Maybe it's just recency bias, where it's just like there's a thing like Lisa Leslie is a big name.
Yeah, because she's still on TV. A lot
I
of it's
just
because she
like
She's
was
still
I
on
just
TV.
like saying the name
TV.
Rebecca Lobo. It's just
Rebecca
fun to say.
Lobo is a big Rebecca Lobo is still a very big deal. I mean, she calling games. So she called the national championship game with UConn and South Carolina. So I mean, like these are people that you constantly see, but Cheryl Swoops is not ton in the spotlight. So anyway, I just want her to get her due.
I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
for me, I guess I went to the person came to mind is someone uh, who is a trailblazer, someone who still people refer to and still people try to build off Shirley Chisholm's like technique. And by that I mean people who are courageous, who stand on business, who actually say what they mean to say. And I think to me, AOC is actually to me, I think the perfect like modern day comp of someone who has that same kind of capacity to speak truth and ignite a following, right? I think that to me I think is a very, very good comp. But I like Florence Joyner. And the reason I picked FloJo, uh,
Whoa.
Oh
Okay.
wow,
All right.
Carter
Carter's kind
threw
of he's trying to blow us
roping.
out now. Okay, go ahead. Damn.
The reason I picked FloJo is because you have someone who, I mean, her 100 and 200-meter record is still like in stone. Like no one has still broken that. And she had to retire early because of a birth defect, basically genetics, which happens with some of these folks. They find out as they start running, like something is wrong, and so they have to retire so they don't die. But
Important.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? But that is important. But she was someone who was able to kind of like be extremely popular and transcend and be able to start making inroads in other spaces.
Yeah, stop
Eh
talking. You got this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But go ahead. Yeah, you finish if you want.
No,
But
I mean that's to me, that's what I think of as Shirley Chisholm. Someone just like staying power, someone still influential, still is going to be talked about when you're talking about some of the greatest female politicians. The same thing you got to talk about female athletes. You got to talk about FloJo. So, anywho, and FloJo
yeah,
is
you got my vote. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
you
Gorgeous.
won. You
So
won. It's all good.
thank you.
Point, Carter. We get it. We get
Yeah.
it. You great.
All
The
right,
setup on that was great too.
are
We got
we what are we doing? Are we doing
we
we got
got
the
Joseph
racists?
McCarthy, Ronald Reagan, and we only racist left. Who we want to start with?
only racists.
So
left.
some people like while Ted Cruz
All right.
might not be like an out and out like knuckle dragging racist, like anyone
He
that's gonna
racist.
complain, yeah, anyone that's gonna compare CRT to the KKK, I'm comfortable calling a racist. So
Yeah.
you got an
yeah,
issue with
yeah.
that? Sorry.
Let's stay with
Not.
Ted Cruz because I think this one can be quick and it's kind of funny. And so
Yeah.
again, now the reason for the audience, like I wanted to do Ted Cruz because to me it's the irony of all ironies when you have someone who is Latino, like the man is not white, right? But he has
Raphael.
he's bought into
Raphael.
whiteness so much he convinced himself that he is
Theodore.
white. Like he has convinced himself that if I perform whiteness enough, maybe they won't know my last name is Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they won't know not Cruz like Tom Cruise, Cruz
y'all
like
ever-
Latino Cruz. Like
Have y'all
with
ever
a
heard
Z.
my bit that everything's funnier with a Spanish accent? Like everything's funnier in Spanish. Like even like my name, like David Coe, is lame in English, but you put it with like in Spanish, David Coe. It sounds so much better. Like you got like two wild and crazy guys
Two
or
wild and crazy
vatos locos forever, Holmes. Like what's cooler? It's
That's
the same
true.
thing.
That's
Ted
fair.
Cruz is not cool, so that's why he is. That's why.
That's
he is
why
Ted
that
Cruz.
exactly.
Fits
That's
more
why
in with the
that's why it's anglicized. That's why it's anglicized his name. So for me, I think not he said to me that the last thing I'll say. Then I'll get to the athlete. He specifically like is he hates black women. Like he said the things he says about black women politicians. If you track it, it's some pretty vile stuff. It's some pretty vile stuff. And so like I'm like the things he said about the Texas other House representative who's running against James Tallarico,
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
You're just like this man, and the things he even said around Ketanji Brown Jackson. Like this
Oh
man,
right,
yeah, like
yes.
he just
I forgot
yeah,
about that.
You're just like this dude. Yeah, yeah.
This
So
dude.
and
you
again, I
got?
just be like, I'm like, you're so internally colonized, you don't even know. Like you don't know
So-
who you are.
Yeah.
So
who you got?
so this is my athlete comp. Now this is a stretch, and this is new, and maybe this may be too much into the weeds for some folks. But if you are paying attention to this year's New York Giants, I could have picked either the quarterback or the running back, but I picked Cameron Scatterboo, and let me tell you why. Because and y'all know why. That's why y'all laughing. Because you have these white dudes out here acting like you know you white. You know you white. You out here acting like trying to hold down and walk and try to act and talk and listen and hang with us, hang with the more melanated people with how you're behaving. And then when they go home, they'll be talking to their mom and dad like that. You know when they go home, they be like mother, father, how are y'all doing today?
Yeah, they ain't got that.
I'm like
vernacular.
people. You can just tell. You can just tell. There's a performance that is there. There's a character they're trying to buy into that isn't really authentically them, but it's someone who they've created while they were playing football in college, especially. And I think that's Ted Cruz. He's created a character. He's trying to play.
I like that.
And so to me, I was like, this is that's why I
I
wanted
can
to
tell
put. I was
Carter's
like,
locked in on this one.
Cameron Scatterboo. Cameron Scatterboo.
Jackson
you got,
Dart would have been
Alex?
a good close second.
I know, man.
If you look at all
his
these
parents messed
athletes
him up
in
though
there,
because his name's Jackson with an X. So that
With an X,
I
like,
was
come on
already going
now.
like, I don't even know,
from Utah. But yeah, like all of these athletes, right, who have like iced out chains and stuff, it's just like, where do you get it from? Like, come
Remember
on,
when
bro.
in the NBA like freaked out when people start wearing chains? They may start wearing suits to games, and now they got
Yeah.
white dudes wearing chains. Like, come on, man. Anyway, all right.
The world's
I miss
upside
the oversized '90s suit.
I
Steve
miss
Harvey.
yeah. The
Steve
zoot
Harvey.
suits. Like the kings of comedy suits they be wearing in there.
Exactly.
18 buttons down the front.
Oh my gosh. All right, so
That's so
because I
good.
was gonna do the kind of self-hatred thing, I was gonna go with RG3, Robert Griffith III.
Oh,
He
Yeah.
Let me
Like, that's
tell you,
good. That's
brother.
good. That's
Take the
good.
points.
Look.
Take the
Yeah,
points.
you got
Take
it.
the
You got
points.
it.
You
You
got
got
it.
it,
It's
man.
over. It's
No, I
over.
was like, that's
It's
over.
over.
That's
It's
over.
over.
No, you
Yeah,
nailed it.
man.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
man. Starting
Mine.
his career hot, flames out.
So
All
I
right.
struggle with Ted Cruz because he's such a worm and he's such like a pussy. That. But because he lives in Texas, he's always around, and there aren't many examples of athletes that are just like why are you still here? And I don't like my comp is Alex Rodriguez. It's all right.
Mm.
You know, you got the
can see it.
Latino the Latino who's trying to assimilate,
Oh, 100%. That's
who
I can see.
who nobody likes but is just around forever.
Yeah. The only thing I do think, Alex, again, you win. The only
Alex
saving
wins.
grace for Alex Rodriguez, and this is the only thing that makes me kind of still tolerate him, is when you look at his history and you actually find out like how he was raised and the stuff he went through as a kid. You're like, this dude got some trauma. He needs some therapy. Like he needs to go sit down and talk about
Talked about
abandonment and talk about things and process your junk, and then you could be normal. But
Yeah.
until you process your stuff, man, you just project it on other people. So,
Yeah,
but
he
all
got you.
anywho,
day.
yeah, but I think that's a great. I think that's a great comp. But Alex, I'm like, man, I don't know how I forgot RG3. I'm like,
Three,
this
man.
dude,
That was
man,
that's
He
this
had a
dude-
That's
post
amazing.
recently justifying, I love my white wife, but that don't
Nope.
mean I hate myself.
Nope,
You know?
you're
No,
good.
but the thing
That
is,
was incredible.
but he's sitting there talking about like Christian persecution,
Execution.
like
Right.
on his pod. I mean, he says the most racist stuff, and the thing is, he doesn't. I'm like someone who does not know what racism is. I'm like, is
Yes.
someone?
He's not a bright guy. He's out of
Oh
his
my
depth on a lot of
gosh.
these conversations,
Oh
man.
my, and man,
Who's the other
Whew.
one that like him who played linebacker? Emmanuel Oucho.
Oh,
man,
Manuel Ocho.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, we had to
he's-
have a separate
he's-
show for him and his highlights.
Yeah,
let me tell
yeah.
you.
We'll get him there, but you know he's the defensive version of RG3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. That's just
Yeah.
like like my wife is white, but like you see, that's what making he messing up for me. Because RG3 out here, he out
Right,
here
people be
doing this
looking at you
crazy
kinda
stuff.
way.
People looking at me like, I'm like, no, man, like that's not me. That's
Nah,
not
man,
me.
my
My
wife
wife,
different.
I know. I'm like, that's not we roll, dog. That's not
My
we roll.
white lady's built different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my white
same,
lady wear
same.
hoop.
So-
She wear hoop earrings. So that's all you
All
gotta
of
say.
us.
When your white woman wear hoop earrings, they know where she came from and where
That's
she going.
alright.
So I'm leave that there.
We're gonna change the name of the podcast again, and it's gonna be the Race Traders Podcast.
The race traders. Oh
We,
my
and for those of you
God.
who don't know us personally, we're all in interracial relationships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it could be the United Nations podcast. See,
Yeah, that's
look
right.
at the bright side.
Exactly.
See, you know, see,
Oh,
bring
we got
people together.
That's amazing. Let's go with Senator Joseph
go, Joe.
McCarthy of
Oh
Wisconsin.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
crazy person.
Yep.
Start by saying this. So I'm like, what can we start by saying? Okay, documented insane crazy person, right? Like someone who genuinely, in his heart of heart, and I guess if you want to say to his credit, this is where like you were talking about Bull Connor, like he genuinely believed that the threat of communism was so deeply wrapped in notions of like the Black radical tradition and people who are arguing for racial justice that he could not disentangle the two. Like he genuinely believed that he needed to fet out all these communists because they were trying to undermine American democracy, which is going to make us all like Russia. Like, so he had,
Yes.
I don't know what was going on in this man's head, but he was obsessed. Like he was obsessed in a way that clearly was unhealthy. So
Captured the
racism-
country for a while with it.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. So popular, captured the country because he was charismatic, right? I suspect he grew up religious because he had a charismatic way of
Yes, he's
speaking
Catholic.
that could pull people in. Oh, he was Catholic. So there you go. See, I didn't even know. That makes but the Catholic priests can't be preaching. But anyway, so he must have there's somewhere he got some evangelical in there. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. There's somewhere that he grew up around. He went to some white charismatic churches. So, but for me, this is perfect because he had captured everybody. People were on his side, and then when it fell really fast. Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa!
is the comp. Is the comp.
Whoa.
Because remember, people are like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, like he had the seatbelt, whatever the heck he was doing, where the State Farm check or whatever,
Double
and very
check,
popular.
discount double check. He had
Discount double check.
Yeah.
But then when you start talking to him, the vaccine came out, and you realize, oh, this dude is deep into the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Deep into the conspiracy theories. He would start, and like you find out how much he really believes in a kind of tiered society. Like he truly believes that some people are better than others. He won't say it like that, but he's like, well, if you do anybody that talks about doing your own research and actually having a certain degree of
God.
knowledge, like that means you believe other humans are better than other humans. And so for me, I think Aaron Rodgers is not. It happened to be that he was in Wisconsin for a long time too, but I think Aaron
No, I
Rodgers
like that, yeah.
is the comp. Is the comp. So what y'all got?
So I like that comp. Same thing. Like I went with an athlete that was kind of that took the country by storm and was just like when he was at his peak,
I know.
you
Yeah.
couldn't
I know where this
couldn't
is
look
going.
away without seeing this man's face. And
Damn, you
most
took
people
mine.
believed it at the time. I don't know if you know who this is.
I think I do know who
You
you're gonna pick.
You took mine. You took it. I think you took it.
Amazing. I love it. And then when we found out who he was, like, and here's why I'm not crazy about the Aaron Rodgers comp is people still love Aaron Rodgers. Everyone hates
do?
this. People still love Aaron.
I
mean,
man.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
That's
some
sad.
people that like him. I mean, he's not.
I mean, the
universally
man was on
disliked,
Pat
but
McAfee every week last
That
year.
made me
you know,
like him
like he
less.
has an audience.
paying him.
But also that literally made me like him less. I'm like, stop
Oh,
talking.
100%,
Like,
100%.
Yeah, like stop. But yeah, no, go ahead.
But
You're right. You might be right. You might be right.
Because he was like such an icon of his sport and then fell off so fast that was just like a pariah that, like, Joseph McCarthy died not too long after he left power. This person might as well like is died from the zeitgeist. Joseph McCarthy is Lance Armstrong. Not who you thought, huh, Alex?
That's not who I thought. Actually, it's not who I thought you were gonna pick. But that's good.
No.
That's good.
Thank you.
Especially the zeitgeist, because I
mine,
mean, we used to care about the Tour de France. I don't even talking about the Tour de France now. You'll see not damn one person on ESPN or nothing talking about riding some bikes.
Let
you know
that
what I'm
shit
saying?
go
Like,
completely.
exactly.
Just
They're like,
let it go.
And the
Yeah.
more you learned about Lance Armstrong, the worse of a person he became.
huh.
Like,
no, he seemed like he was a jerk.
just fucking gross. But but back in his day, like top of the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, especially because obviously the cancer survival stuff. I remember Stuart Scott. I remember listening when I listened to sports radio, and he had called in and talked to guy at Van Pelt's show to defend him. He was like, hey, he maybe cheated, but look at all the stuff he's done for cancer and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hey, that's great. But, just be like, you a cheater, dog. Like, you a cheater.
Two things can be true.
All right, Alex, who you got?
Definitely be true. All right, I changed mine and I don't like it, so I'll just breeze through it really quickly. Bill Romanowski was offensive lineman, played
Yeah, I
in the
see
NFL for many years. He was one of the dirtiest players in the NFL,
dirty.
and McCarthy was one of the dirtiest players in American politics. I have like a mea culpa because I love the Kennedys, and John F. Kennedy, when he was being censured, John F. Kennedy was the only one that wasn't present for that. He had an operation on his back, and I think he scheduled an actual operation during that time because his sister, I believe either Pat or Eunice, dated Gene McCarthy, and his family gave Gene McCarthy money because they're Irish and Catholic too. So
Politics are local.
it's
They
all
are all
local.
local.
It's
They are all
all
local.
it's
Yeah.
all
Wow.
family, So anyway, I got him as Bill Romanowski because I was like, who's one of the dirtiest players in sports? Like Bill Romanowski is pretty dirty.
You know what's
All right,
funny, David? I thought you were gonna go Jeremy Lin. I thought you were gonna go
Jeremy Lin,
Sanity.
right.
That's what I thought you were gonna do because when you
Right, because
talk
he
about
said, yeah,
and I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, is this Lin
and that's
Sanity?
what
But actually,
I had.
I would never
Yeah.
do that. I like Jeremy Lin too much for that.
Jeremy Lin does seem cool. But no, I think David. I think yours is. I think yours.
All
I vote
right.
for David.
Yep. Yeah, that's solid.
No, I love it.
All
I
right,
love it.
we're coming down to our last one. Good old Ronnie. Ronald Reagan, 2-term president of the United States, governor of California. One of the turning points in American history.
The reason we
This
don't
guy.
have universal child care in America, in case y'all don't know, it is specifically because of Ronald Reagan, because we had the opportunity to get it when Nixon was in office. But Ronald Reagan specifically called Nixon after a bill passed Congress. It got through the House, through the Senate, got to Reagan, or got to Nixon. Reagan called him to say, no, don't fund it, because we need to make sure that people, because this would disrupt the House and would make sure women don't have to stay home, basically, because he was a hater. Ronald Reagan he just was all about hating on folks, hating on poor people, blaming poor people for being poor. Like, so look, y'all know my full title is Reverend Dr. Christopher Carter. I grew up going to church all the time. My mama said when I was little, she was like, you cannot say you hate anything. Like, I'll be like, oh mom, she makes something, she'd be like, oh, I hate this. Like, oh, you can't hate any food, because God created this and this for the earth and right? You can't say hate. She's like, the only two things in this house you can hate. You can hate the devil and you can hate Ronald motherfucking Reagan. And she almost probably said motherfucking. I'll be honest with you, right? I'm
I'm sorry. Was your mom Huey Freeman?
I know,
No,
right?
yeah, no, I know, but then that's what I'm saying. And then fast forward to Boondocks, she talk about Ronald Reagan. It is the devil. Now I was like, see, I'm like, that's it. 666. What's his middle? Ronald. What's his
Right.
middle name? It's like got 6 letters in it. All his names got 6 letters in it. So anyway, I'm like, look, no, but because in Michigan, Ronald Reagan is Reaganomics dismantled the auto industry in the 80s. And that just broke, the things that my family had used to get out of generational poverty. He had dismantled those things. And so my family, hates Reagan. It's deep. It's deep. Anywho, that influences my comp, but I'll save that for later. So anything else y'all got to add about Reagan? Because I could give a sermon about Reagan.
I can't not. Anytime I talk about Ronald Reagan, I have to bring up the throat goat, Nancy.
This dude.
Oh yeah.
Have to. There was a reason. There's a reason why Ronnie was always so happy. And we're gonna say a lot of bad things about Ronald Reagan, but I just want to say, like,
Shout out.
shout out, Nancy. We appreciate your work.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord
no,
Jesus.
Ronald Reagan made it okay to not care about poor people. He's the greed is good president. He is the welfare queen president. Like, this man, like Donald Trump, does not really exist without Ronald Reagan.
100%. You can
And
trace the line of Donald Trump to Ronald Reagan. You begin right there.
100.
100%.
exactly. And
exactly.
also the modern establishment Democratic Party traces back to Ronald Reagan, because
Heyo.
a lot of what they do is they venerate him as this kind of great communicator. It's like, no, he was an actor who could read, and had some charisma when he did it. He didn't think deeply about real issues outside of, how can we keep these people oppressed?
Well, one of the
So,
most
yeah.
interesting things that I learned about Ronald Reagan in his early career is not it wasn't so much that he was an actor; it's that he was a radio sports guy, and so he was really practiced at improvising, because you don't have any scripts doing that, and so he was one, he was like an old school radio personality, and so that's how he was such an effective communicator, is because he was just genuinely more practiced than most every politician.
Well, you add the practicing in, but also you add the fact that he's surrounded by people who are helping him learn how to use euphemisms. And so this is where you really start getting into dog whistles, right? How can I
Yes.
say something without saying something? Talk about welfare queen. We know who he's talking about. He's talking
Willie
about literally
Horton.
the way he creates
Or
neoliberalism.
Willie Horton was HW, right?
Yeah, and that was
But
a
HW
product.
was
That's how
Ronald
you
Reagan's
got
VP.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying, but that, like, Willie Horton was from the Reagan playbook of dog whistles.
Do y'all want to? Do you want to say the Willie Horton story about what you can't say? Because Willie Horton is the one who said you can't say in, right? Isn't he the one who said that? Oh my gosh!
Willie Horton was the prisoner.
The quote where he says you can't say, you can talk about rather, when he was trying to shift the language and rhetoric, and maybe the person who was actually talking to Nixon, maybe I'm getting this stuff confused, where there's this part of the speech where he's coaching him on how to use these kind of dog whistles, and he says you can't say inward because people know now that's taboo. But now you can say, but you gotta say things like about have good schools. You gotta say things like again, welfare queens. You got to use other
Safe
words.
neighborhoods.
Yeah, that
The
translate
dog
to the same thing
and
so
the dog
people
whistles.
know. Yeah. And so, but that's like that. I mean, this
And
is
that ushered in the era of modern politics completely.
100%,
I mean that we're
100%.
living in Reagan's world, and in
Yeah.
California too, ruin the schools. But we'll get into that another
This is for
podcast.
another day.
Sorry, I have to hear. Lauren says like whenever I bring him up, she will give me the lecture of how Ronald Reagan ruined
Ruin the UC school system,
the
100%.
UC school system in California.
100%,
Well, he's a gift
100%.
that keeps giving.
Mhm.
So,
Um,
for me, the athlete comp, and this is kind of like what Alex, I think what you did when you were talking about Jordan. For me, the athlete comp for Ronald Reagan was Larry Bird. Like that was the one that came to mind when I started because he was the one that I had as well, at first I had as a coach, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But to me, and
Appreciate you.
the reason I picked Larry Bird is someone who is like I don't like Ronald Reagan, but I can recognize the fact that he was great
The
at what
talent.
he was trying to do. Super
Yeah.
talented, right? Like he was effective. Now, I grew up a Michigan Pistons fan. I hate the Celtics. I hate Larry Bird. Like I hate Larry Bird, right? I hate it. I hate him. But you know what? That white dude can ball. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. That white dude, like he's the kind of person I go to the park, I would look at him like, man, I ain't picking that dude. He can't hoop. And then all of a sudden, the second game after he to whoop my behind, I'm like, I need him on my team. You know what I'm
If there's
saying?
anything we've learned so far in this podcast is that while Dr. Carter is probably one of the most anti-racist people I've ever met, as soon as he is picking a team, you are the most judgmental racist motherfucker I have
Oh
ever
my God.
met.
Yeah, no, it is all it's like, hey, man, you know what? Like,
Like Michael Scott picking a team.
Oh God, that's so funny. Hey, I'm just going on. I'm going on averages, law of averages.
Yeah, you call like you see it.
Call like call like you see it. Call like you see it. That is, and that's actually just pretty true.
I
So,
like Larry Legend. So I here's who I've got because he was great, and really changed the direction of American politics. And at the time was super popular. You don't know who I'm going to say, I promise.
Okay, good.
Was super popular at the time, but now when any person reasonably looks back on it, it's just like ew. Like it's just like I want nothing to do with this. But at the time, it captivated the nation, and so that's why the sports comp to Ronald Reagan is Mark McGuire.
that's good. And Mark McGuire has had a little bit of a redemption. He's had a little bit of a okay, yeah, I was cheating a little bit. Yeah, I stopped cheating a little bit.
Cheating a
Little bit, But hey, who knew it was creatine? I didn't know,
But completely changed the course of modern baseball.
100%.
And baseball since Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa ushered in the steroid era, baseball has been trying I feel like they've just gotten a hold of the game again to where everyone's not like, oh, everybody just cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Man, you just mentioned Sammy Sosa, and I realized we could have used that same one. We could have used that one for Ted Cruz. I forgot about that. Have y'all seen pictures of Sammy Sosa lately? I totally forgot.
That would have been
That's
the only one that could have. That's the only one that could have been RG3 because Sammy Sosa did literally dyed his skin. This man,
right,
this
I was
man,
gonna say he
think he got vitiligo. Like he got.
Yo, when the Dominicans say "I'm not black," Sammy fucking meant that shit.
I know black. Oh man. All right. So mine is thought real hard on Ronnie, and I'm going with Magic Johnson. And the reason I'm going with Magic Johnson, Ronald Reagan was president during the 80s. Magic Johnson was a basketball player in the 80s. Magic Johnson revolutionized the point guard position as a 6'9" point guard. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about somebody who really changed the game. I mean, God, if I talk to my girlfriend's dad, who's a massive Laker fan, he'll say that Magic Johnson is the greatest basketball player to ever live over Jordan, just because he said what he did in his career was cut short. So anyway, the other reason is his ability to communicate. Magic Johnson was such an effective communicator. I met him at a Jamba Juice one time, and I just, he looked at me. I looked at him. I said, "What's up?" He starts walking over and talking to me. And then we start talking basketball. And then he says, "Take out your phone." And I'm like, "Shit, are we about to be friends?" And he was like, "Take a picture." And I was like, so you'll have it. And I was just like, okay. I was like, can I get your numbers? I can get Laker tickets to no, didn't
No.
get that. But he was very charismatic. Like meeting him in person, he's got presence. That's basically what Reagan was. Reagan was an effective communicator who had presence. Also, one thing in common between Reagan and Magic Johnson is that they were both able to avoid AIDS.
Oh shit!
So, you
Take a
know,
take a take a
worked out for
cocktail of
one guy,
drugs.
not so much for the other guy. I think, one guy he got lucky, the other guy was just not great about it. So, yeah. So,
That's hilarious. That's
yeah.
hilarious. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. Actually,
You got my vote on that the last bit. You won me over, Alex.
yeah, I was gonna say like Magic Johnson. That part was funny because I came over myself. I was like, "That's a good one. That's a good
I was
one."
gonna say, because I
All
was gonna
right,
give you my vote, Carter, because that was really funny.
all right. So you got this one. So who ended up winning? I don't even know. We're all winners. You're
Carter
everybody's.
won.
Oh, okay.
Cardinal, listen, there is no pretend. We don't get to know
No
everyone
Well,
won
participation
here.
what I was
trophies
gonna
here.
say is all of our listeners are winners for listening for this amazing content.
If you made it,
They won.
this far, then you are
You are the
absolutely
winner.
a fucking winner. Carter, you got 3 points. Alex and I tied for second, which is for your first loser at 2.5. We really appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.